Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Northern Burlington County Regional High School. I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum Mr. Tyler Kay, and we are here live as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the Ewing Blue Devils in the opening game for the 2018 season.
That's right, Jimmy. This is the first game of the season, and the Greyhounds are looking forward to an exciting campaign this year.
Unfortunately, the Greyhounds fumbled the opening kickoff, so Ewing is going to take the first possession. The Hounds come into this game. They are led by Mr. Jewel Dolce. He's in his third year as the coach of the Greyhounds, and he's building a pretty good program. A couple years ago, he took over. The Hounds were 3-7. Last year, they were 5-5, and they have their eyes on the state playoffs this year.
Yes, they absolutely do, and you see the improvement across his short coaching career as head football coach. And that is not all he does. He also has quite the history as a wrestling coach here at Northern.
And he's got his assistants, Coach Charlie Perillo, Coach Thaddeus Richards, Coach Colin Hugo, amongst others, helping him out here tonight. And they're up against a pretty good Ewing squad that's led by Mr. Drew Bessler, and he's in his 7th season for the Blue Devils. And they've got a real high-powered attack, and they're looking to get on the board early here.
Yeah, this Ewing offense is definitely a tough one, and the Greyhounds really need to stay on top of them if they hope to get a win tonight.
This is our second game of our sports doubleheader today. We just came off of an exciting field hockey game. The Hounds fell in that one to rival RV, but we've got a great crowd on hand for this football game, and it looks like that was going to be a QB keeper by Caleb Stokes, the senior quarterback for the Blue Devils.
Stokes is a very talented player. He's one of the stars on this Ewing team. Hopefully the Greyhounds will be able to contain him throughout the game tonight.
Absolutely. They're looking to contain him along with running back Javon Strong and one of the impact newcomers, Ricky Francois, who's a junior tailback. He's got a lot of speed, and it's going to be up to the defense of the Hounds to hold those guys, keep them honest.
Tell you, there's a guy in Francois who can really turn the burners on when he's out there. One of those guys where if you give him a little bit of space, he'll be gone. So hopefully this Greyhounds defense can keep him in check throughout the night.
And the Greyhounds are actually building off of some positive momentum from last year. They started off the season slow, but they ended up winning 5 of their last 6 games last year, including a big Commanders Cup game, Homecoming 2017, as well as a consolation game versus Colts Neck. So they're looking to build on that momentum and hopefully get a big win here tonight to open their season.
Well, they absolutely are hoping for a big win here, and you know, a win in Week 1 can really set the tone for a successful season. Any chance you have to get above 500, you always take that.
On their own 20-yard line.
And the Hounds are led by quarterback Mike Calario. He played a little bit last year, completed about 60% of his passes, and he averages about 65 yards a game. They also have Amir Stevenson in the backfield, who had 750 yards rushing last year with 8 touchdowns, and he averaged just over 100 yards a game. So those are the sort of the 1-2 punch for the Greyhounds. And Calario wastes no time completing his first pass.
He's definitely a high-efficiency player, as you said, completing 60% of his passes last year. At the high school level, that's not easy to do. 60% is a very good number. Hopefully Calario can be successful here as the offense lines up. A man in motion. And that's going to be a handoff. Nice hole there for the running back. A great run.
So Stevenson there picks up about 7. It's going to be a 3rd and short for the Greyhounds. Amir Stevenson's a great two-way player for the Greyhounds. Also plays defensive back, cornerback. And it's really the defense of the Hounds who are going to be trying to hold this high-powered Ewing offense. And the Greyhounds are led by some defensive standouts like Tyler Neville, DeAndre Pearson, Patrick Ivanko, and Trevor Jones. And it's going to be up to that defensive line to really keep the Greyhounds into this one tonight.
Now, one thing that could work in the Greyhounds' favor tonight is this weather. It's been a wet day. There's been some light drizzles already with the game just starting. And that should slow down this Ewing offense and should definitely help the Greyhounds' defense in controlling some of these explosive playmakers on the opponent.
So Colario's in the shotgun. We'll see what coaches have drawn up here. He's going to take a big drop and do a little dump pass there. And looks like Stevenson is going to pick up. Looks like very close to the first down. So nice shuffle pass there. Moving the chains.
And that's the kind of plays you want to see, especially early on in the game. It's always nice to see the deep shot down the field, and that's exciting. But when you first start off, do a couple of those short passes just to get a little bit of a flow going for your offense. You can really build some confidence between the quarterback, running back, and your receivers. And then as the game goes on, maybe catch the defense sleeping a little bit, and that's when you go for those shot plays.
So it looks like they're going to get an offsides penalty there on the Blue Devils. And that's a credit to the Greyhounds' hard snap count. So that looks like it's going to move the chains. And we're starting a very early season here with the Greyhounds. We started the fall sports season on the 5th. And the girls' soccer team kicked off the fall season with a big win at Burlington Township. As we stated, the field hockey team had a tough loss to RV earlier today and against Cherry Hill East. But we've had some success with girls volleyball, winning at Pennsauken, boys soccer already playing a tough game versus Burlington Township, and girls tennis, who won earlier today in a 5-0 set. So a lot of success, and the crowd is fired up for this one. And that looks like it's going to be another handoff to Stevenson, who's going to pick up about 3 yards on the carry.
Now, watching Stevenson so far tonight, he's really starting to get on a little bit of a roll here. I wonder if he can maybe give us another 100-yard performance tonight. He's done it before, and I'm sure he can do it again.
This is a Hounds offense that can put up points when they get on a hot streak. But at the same time, it's going to be on them to keep up with this Ewing squad. As we stated, they really have a efficient offense, couple of playmakers. Colario's looking for a nice pass, and it looks like he's going to get the first down with that pass completed right past the marker.
We are now across midfield, and these Hounds are driving. They're definitely on a roll here. Let's see if they can get some points out of this drive. Greyhounds currently lined up at the 43-yard line. It'll be a first down here. Here's the handoff. And a couple yards on the play.
And just to go back 2 plays ago, Jacoby Lewis made a great catch there, and he's one of the playmakers for the Greyhounds. Wide receiver on the outside, got a lot of speed, and I look for a heavy dose of him tonight as well if the Greyhounds want to hang into this one. So we'll see what the Greyhounds have in store. Colario in the shotgun. And it looks like a quick handoff, halfback draw, and Stevenson's going to get bottled up after a couple. So credit to the Ewing defensive line making those plays.
Look, 4 just had the ball, now the referee has the ball.
Stevenson again on the carry.
There's not much there for Stevenson. We have 3rd and long now for this Greyhounds offense.
What? Scrub.
And they are lined up and ready to go. 3 wide here. Here's the pass on 3rd down, and he can't connect on that one. That's going to bring up 4th down for this Greyhounds offense.
So the punt squad comes out. Both these teams are looking to get a big win here tonight. As we stated, the Greyhounds came off a 500 season last year. Ewing's looking to bounce back after a 4-7 season. They were 7-4 2 years ago, so I know they'd like nothing more than to get back to the state playoffs. And this is going to be a tough game for both teams, and it means a lot as a division game, as the first game of the season.
I really think the Greyhounds have a good chance this year to improve on their record from last season. As you mentioned, 500 season, which is very good. Can't be mad about that, but I think they have a great chance to come away with this season with a winning record. And there's going to be a blocked punt here. Ball is loose, and the Ewing Blue Devils have the ball.
So a little mishap there by the Greyhounds. The Blue Devils are going to take over in the red zone, and the Greyhounds defense is coming in here, hopefully trying to make a big stop. How quickly the momentum could shift. It looked like the Blue Devils were going to get the ball deep in their own zone. And here they are now around the 15-yard line, looking to put the first score on the board.
And you got to be careful out there. Field position can make such a big difference in a football game. Definitely need to try to cut back on those sloppy plays if the Greyhounds want to have a chance to win tonight. Let's see what this Ewing offense can do now from the 15-yard line. Handoff. There's going to be a flag on the play. Looked like we had a man in motion there. Could be a false start.
So that was halfback Paris Wright on the carry there for Ewing. We'll see what the officials rule. As you said, it could have been illegal formation, and that's going to back Ewing up there. So advantageous there for the Greyhounds. Going to put Ewing back 10 yards and get him out of the red zone. And now they're going to take over on the around the 26-yard line here in the first quarter.
I've been doing this a long time, Jim. One thing I can tell you, that 9 times out of 10, the team that has less penalties and less turnovers, they're going to win the game. Here's a little pitch here. Decent run. Make up some of that penalty yardage there for Ewing.
And it looked like that was a Wayne Reed there for the Blue Devils, picking up a couple. You know, they've got a really talented backfield. We were talking about Ricky Francois earlier. He's really their go-to back, but they do a good job of mixing and matching. And it looks like Caleb Stokes is in the shotgun now, trying to make something happen for the Blue Devils. And we're going to get a wide receiver in motion. And the play clock is winding down. Looks like a little confusion here for Ewing, but they're going to go right back into the shotgun. See what they have in store. And that's a great tackle by the Greyhounds. That was an awesome play. It looked like that was Tyler Neville, defensive end. You know, he is, some consider, a little undersized as a defensive end. But I'll tell you what, he's got a lot of speed. He's got a lot of finesse, and that helps him get by the bigger players on the line. And that clearly was shown there as he got a sack on Stokes here early in this game.
Talk about some smash mouth football. On the defensive side, what wins games is fundamentals and technique. You saw it there on that play. Neville was the low man there, and the low man wins.
So he gets a lot of help, as we stated, on the defensive line. Some outstanding players like DeAndre Pearson, in addition to Owankwo, who I mentioned. And it looked like that was a couple-yard gain there for the Blue Devils. But you can hear the marching band getting this crowd fired up. They do a great job under the direction of Mr. Sean Lindner. Our color guard does a great job. Our cheerleaders are here. And we've got a fantastic crowd on hand here with a timeout. Now you can keep up with all things Northern football at Hounds Gridiron on Twitter. You can keep up with all sports here at Northern on Twitter at NBC_athletics, as well as Northern TV at Northern_TV. So lots of ways to stay plugged in and lots of ways to keep up with all the exciting sports action here, not just for the fall, but year-round here at the farm.
This Northern crowd really is getting pumped up tonight. As we have a punt here for Ewing. And that ball is going to go out of bounds. It'll be Greyhounds football. And you can hear these fans just loving it so far. A nice tight game here. 0-0, first quarter.
So it looked like Ewing was in prime position to put a touchdown on the board, taking over at around the 15-yard line. A credit to the Northern defense for not only holding them out of the end zone, but forcing them to punt, and now Northern takes over at the 20. So what looked like a big miscue with the punt block turns into basically a touchback here for the Greyhounds as they take over with just a few minutes left here in the first quarter here at the farm.
That sack from Tyler Neville there ended up being a huge play. That knocked Ewing out of field goal range and really kept the points off the board there. And keeps this as a 0-0 tie. A man in motion here for the Greyhounds. Drops back to pass. Ball is in the air and is going to be incomplete. And there is a flag. This one should be pass interference. I think anyone could see that one coming.
So it looked like a little early contact there by the Blue Devils, and that's going to move the Greyhounds up around the 40-yard line. It's a nice pass by Calario. As we stated, he is taking over as the quarterback this year. He's taking over for Cam Clauser, who was a senior last year. He got a little bit of playing time Calario did last season, so that experience is really showing here as Northern gets a first down around the 40-yard line.
Let's see if they can't take advantage of that penalty yardage there. Get a nice drive going here. Move the ball well their first time on offense, and there's no reason they can't do it again. Clario back in the shotgun. Here's a snap. He's going to hand this ball off. Not much room there. We're going to have a tackle in the backfield.
And that was Stevenson there getting bottled up. The Hounds also have talented back in Tommy Hill. Look to integrate him. And I'd also look to them to go to the air. Players like Jacoby Lewis, who we saw earlier. They also have Woods as a receiver. So lots of players on offense who can make things happen. And we'll see what the Hounds have drawn up here as the fourth quarter is coming to a close.
Greyhounds offense lined up. Here's the snap. We're going through the air again. It's going to be another incomplete pass. Tell you what, this Ewing defense is playing pretty well so far. I wonder how much the weather's playing into the results so far on the field for the Greyhounds.
Yeah, we saw in the first game of our doubleheader field hockey game, you and I, TK, were just doing that earlier this afternoon, that when the rain comes down, it really slows down the play on the field. The grass gets soggy, players moving slower, you kind of lose a grip a little bit. So weather could be a factor in this one, and I looked for this to be a low-scoring affair if the rain picks up.
Without a doubt. We have the quarterback dropping back here. He's on the run, and he is going to be tackled there. Very little on that play. Not much room to run.
So Calario, a couple of yards on that. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum, Mr. Tyler Kay. We are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds kick off their football season versus the Ewing Blue Devils here on fourth down. Let's see if punter Josh Edwards can send this one deep into the Blue Devils territory.
Keep in mind, we had a blocked punt on our first go-around, and this one is going to get off.
Back, Tony! What are you doing?
So they're going to pin that one deep inside the 20. Excellent punt there by Josh Edwards.
And gotta love the field position the Hounds are starting with here now. The Blue Devils are inside the 16-yard line, under a minute to play here in the first quarter, and this one's really just been, as you said earlier, some smash-mouth football, ground and pound. And it's clear both these teams are coming to play, with the defense holding both of these offenses to 0 points total in the first quarter.
And there's nothing I love more than a nice defensive struggle. I'm a little bit old school. I like some hard runs, some big hits, some good old-fashioned football.
And Caleb Stokes there got bottled up very quickly by the Greyhounds defense, and that was Tommy Hill there on the tackle, who I mentioned earlier is a very talented two-way player for the Greyhounds. And the first quarter is winding down, so we may have one, maybe two plays left. And another great play there by the Greyhounds. So that's going to end the first quarter with the score 0-0. So we're going to pick back up here as the second quarter gets underway. And it's been a real defensive battle so far. Looked like a quick handoff there from Stokes. And the Blue Devils will pick up a few yards on that one.
Great play by the Greyhounds.
These are two teams, Northern and Ewing, who came on strong at the end of last season. You know, as I stated, Northern won 5 of their last 6 last year, including a big homecoming game versus Hamilton West. They won a consolation game versus Colts Neck. They won the Commander's Cup versus Pemberton. And Ewing's looking to bounce back as well after a disappointing 2017 season where they went 4-6. They were actually 7-4 the year before. So both these teams looking to get a big win here on our opening night. And you can hear the marching bands trying to get the crowd fired up. Credit to Mr. Sean Linder, who does a great job getting our band motivated for all of our games and our talented musicians here. Also want to thank our friends, family, community members who are on hand. And it looks like the Hounds are going to take over here now with 1st and 10 on this one. We'll see what Coach Dulce's got up his sleeve here as Calario looks to be in the shotgun. It's going to be a quick handoff. He's going to be wrapped up quickly there by the Ewing defensive line. Now they've really got some outstanding players on the defensive line there for Ewing. Chris Seifert for the Blue Devils, one of their defensive standouts. He led the team last year in tackles. He had 104 tackles last season. And along with defensive end Obi Ezigbo, who had 6 sacks, and linebacker Javon Strong, who also had 88 tackles. This is a really talented defense here for the Blue Devils.
Wow, what a heads-up play there by the quarterback.
In Blue Devil territory at the 47-yard line.
And in addition to playing quarterback, Caleb Stokes also plays corner or defensive back, and he had 66 tackles on the year with 4 interceptions. So they've got certainly a great squad out there, and the Greyhounds are looking to move the ball here in the second quarter. Now, there's going to be no rest for either one of these teams. Northern's going to have Willingboro on the schedule next week. That kickoff's going to be at 7 p.m., and Ewing's going to have their first home game of the season versus Seneca, and that game is also at 7 p.m. So both these teams looking to get a big win in the division. This game could mean a lot as we look at the West Jersey Patriot Division. Northern and Ewing, along with Pemberton, Delran, Cinnaminson, and Bishop Eustace. Every division game just means so much for every team. So that looked like Mike Hilario there with a quick QB keeper. And it's going to be 4th down, and the Greyhounds are going to send out their punt squad. Now you can keep up with all Northern sports on Twitter at NBC_athletics, and that's run by our athletic director, Dr. Dan Uzaki. Does a great job keeping everybody plugged in here at the farm. Looks like that punt is going to sail out of bounds there, and the Blue Devils are going to take over. You can also check us out on our Northern TV District webpage, or you can email us at Northern_TV, at Northern TV at nburlington.com for DVD sales, programming information, sponsorship opportunities, and more. And it looks like that's going to be a big carry, and it's going to be a fumble. And we'll wait for the ref. Northern signaling that we got possession on that play. And looks like the Greyhounds are going to come up with that one. So great effort there by the defensive players on the Greyhounds. We'll see who came up with that one. Now taking over at the 47-yard line. But just a great play. Strip sack, fumble recovery. And that was Amir Stevenson. Our running back also plays corner for the Greyhounds defense. So he's been doing it all now here on both sides of the ball. Just a great heads-up defensive effort. And the Greyhounds have some nice field position now. Working starting on the 47. We'll see what Calario's going to do here as he drops back in the shotgun. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum and former Northern student Tyler Kay. We are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the Ewing Blue Devils in our opening game for the 2018 season. So a lot of excitement here at the farm. School just started yesterday, and all of our students and staff are on hand here tonight cheering on our Greyhounds, looking to get a big win here, first win of the season. That could mean a lot for Coach Dulce. As I stated earlier, he's coming into his third season as head coach for the Greyhounds, and he's been building this program slowly but surely. 2 years ago, he was 4-6. Last year, 5-5, and now looking to get a big win.
That puts the ball at the 31-yard
Looks like that's going to be a roughing the passer penalty against Ewing, and that's going to move the Greyhounds even further. As I stated, Coach Dulce coming into his third year, 3-7 his first year, 5-5 last year, really caught fire at the end of the season, and just looking to build and continue to lead these guys, hopefully make a state playoff appearance this year. You hear the cheerleaders getting the crowd fired up, and we'll see what the Greyhounds have in store. And that looks like it's going to be a quick pitch to the halfback. He's going to get wrapped up after a couple of yards.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Number 1, Joseph Woods on the carry.
And it's going to be second down for the Greyhounds.
To the 26-yard
That looked like Joseph Woods there on the carry. Very talented athlete, plays both sides of the football. And we'll see what the Greyhounds have in store as they move towards the red zone here versus the Blue Devils. And getting a score on the board here in the second quarter could mean a lot, you know. Both teams been playing really tough, really tight, and being the first team to score could really help build some momentum in this one. Looks like a quick handoff. Halfback draw up the middle.
Carry for the Greyhounds.
And that was Tommy Hill there. He's also a two-way player for the Greyhounds, very talented athlete. And looks like about a 1-yard gain as the Greyhounds now are on the 25-yard line, looking to put a score on the board. So we'll see what Coach Dulce and the offense here has drawn up. Calario under center. And it looks like we're going to get a whistle. Looks like maybe a false start there on Northern. And that's a momentum killer. That's going to be a penalty and back us up a little bit.
Tough break there. Let's see if they can get back into it next play.
It's going to be maybe a QB keeper or a bootleg. And the Hounds are going to pick back up here. We'll see what they have drawn up.
That's some good defense. You know what they say, defense wins championships.
As the second quarter is still plenty of time left for both teams. And we'll see what the Greyhounds can do. Now, as we stated earlier, the Hounds have a really tough schedule this year. Opening games, obviously versus Ewing, versus Willingboro. But if they can get some wins early, it could be a really successful season here for the Greyhounds. So looks like we're going to attempt a field goal here. And that one's going to be short, and it's going to be fielded by the Blue Devils. And they're going to try to advance it. Good return there, up past the 30-yard line. And the Blue Devils are going to take over, 1st and 10. And we'll see what Caleb Stokes and the playmakers on Ewing have to say about this one. And, you know, they really have some really talented athletes on Ewing. And I was talking to Coach Dulce actually yesterday, and he was saying that the key to the Greyhounds' success today was going to be to stop their running game and really try to bottle them up. And if they could really defend Stokes and Francois, they had a really good chance of winning this one. And that looked like Bryce Sims there with a few yards for Ewing. Joseph Woods, as we saw just in the last possession, got the tackle there for the Greyhounds. And Ewing's going to pick up here with a 2nd and long. Stokes in the shotgun. Low snap, drops back to pass, fires that one over the middle, and that's going to be picked off. So great play there. That looked like Andrew Zimmerman for the Northern Burlington Greyhounds. I have the privilege of having Andrew in class. He's a tremendous student and a tremendous athlete.
Wow, what a hustle play.
And that's a great play. And, you know, aside from that early turnover that the Greyhounds had with the opening kickoff, they've really done a great job forcing fumbles, getting an interception there. Zimmerman, great heads-up play. So they've really been the beneficiary of some unfortunate turnovers for the Blue Devils, but that's just great coaching there by the Greyhound staff. Heads-up plays, and Andrew Zimmerman made a great read on that pass and picked that one off. And now the Greyhounds, once again, in great position to try to put some points on the board here in the second quarter. And they're around the 41-yard line. So Colario in the shotgun, drops back to pass. Swing pass. Looks like that's going to go to Stevenson, and he's going to get a nice chunk of yards, getting brought down around the 33-yard line. Knocked out of bounds. And that was a nice pickup there for the Hounds as they move towards the red zone, trying to put some points on the board here in the second quarter. Crowd likes that one. They're fired up.
You can't teach that.
And we'll see what the Hounds can do. They've had a lot of success with Stevenson today. He's really our go-to running back. As I stated earlier, he had 750 yards rushing last year, 8 touchdowns. He averages just over 100 yards rushing a game. And he actually had 4 games last year with over 130 yards. So he's really an outstanding player for the Greyhounds. And we'll see what the coaching staff has drawn up here as the Greyhounds look to put 6 on the board. And that looks like another quick handoff, and he's going to get some yardage there.
Great play by the Greyhounds.
So that's a great play. And he played in 7 games last year. So I know the Greyhounds are going to lean on him once again this year. And it looks like that's going to be a first down for the Greyhounds. You know, it's a low-scoring affair right now in the second quarter, which is surprising because the Greyhounds averaged about 20 points per game last year. But first game of the season, and both these teams feeling each other out. I'm sure nobody's in quite a rhythm yet, but Northern's doing a great job moving the ball on this drive, and that comes after a great interception by Andrew Zimmerman. That's going to go to Robert Woods. He's going to throw that one to Jacoby Lewis for a touchdown.
Take that with you!
Great play there by the Greyhounds, catching the Blue Devils off guard. And that's a credit to the coaching staff picking up on the defensive front there. And that extra point's going to be good, and the Greyhounds are up 7-0 in this one. So the crowd is fired up.
And the extra point attempt is good.
Northern in the lead, 7-0. We're about halfway through the second quarter. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum, Mr. Tyler Kay. And we are here live at the farm, and it is Friday, September 7th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds kick off their season home opener versus the Ewing Blue Devils. And what's really been a really great matchup. Northern's had some outstanding defensive effort, and we just saw a great play there. Woods to Lewis for a touchdown. And the crowd is fired up here on this one.
25-yard line.
This is actually the second game of our sports doubleheader here for Northern TV today. We just came off a tough loss versus RV and girls field hockey, but a lot of season left to play, and I know our girls are going to just use that as motivation moving on in their season. But as I said, this is the second game of our doubleheader. Northern TV will be on hand for more varsity sporting events this season.
Run the ball.
That looks like Stokes is going to fire that one, and that's almost picked off again by the Greyhounds. So great defensive play there by the line, flushing him out of the pocket, forcing him to make a throw. Errant throw, almost got picked off again. I'm actually privileged here to be doing my 58th game announcing for Northern TV, so been on hand for a lot of big wins, and hopefully we'll get a big win here tonight in front of our home crowd. Been on hand for some tough losses as well, but always exciting. Opening game of the season. Everybody's fired up. New school year. And Northern's really come out to play here defensively, holding this Ewing offensive attack to 0 points so far in the second quarter, and it looks like that's going to be a handoff for about a 4-yard gain. And as I stated before, you know, Ewing is known for their spread offense, known for a quick pace. They're slowing down a little bit this year, but
Reed carries out to the 30.
They have a host of talented backs, including Strong, Wright, and Francois, as well as quarterback Stokes. So Northern's doing a great job bottling them up. And we'll see how it goes for the Blue Devils. Looks like the play clock's winding down here. Stokes is going to get a low snap, drop back to pass. Once again, feeling the pressure. Spin move. Some fancy footwork there. And we'll see if that's enough for a first down. And it looks like they're going to move the chain. So great play there by Caleb Stokes.
Zimmerman on that tackle for the Hounds.
That looked like Andrew Zimmerman there on the tackle. And the Blue Devils are going to pick up here now. First down, 1st and 10.
Their own 37-yard line.
Here on the 37-yard line. But can't really say enough about this defense here, though, by the Greyhounds. They are giving them pressure on every play, bottling up the run game. And they've had some success in the passing game as well with that big interception by Andrew Zimmerman earlier in this quarter. And that really helped set the tone for the offense, as Northern very shortly afterward puts 7 on the board. So great job by the Northern coaching staff. And we'll see what the Blue Devils have drawn up. Now, as I said, Northern coming off a 5-5 season last year, had some big wins at the end of the year, and they're looking to build on that momentum. We have a really talented offensive squad with Colario, Stevenson, Lewis, Woods, and that looks like it's going to be a timeout there by the Greyhounds. Try to regroup a little bit and try to prevent Ewing from tying this game up. On the defensive end, Northern's also got a lot of talent, including Tommy Hill, Andrew Zimmerman, we saw, DeAndre Pearson, great defensive lineman, as well as offensive lineman. And looks like Hilario's in the shotgun, another low snap. Looks like that's going to be another keeper. And the defense just wraps him up again very, very quickly. So great job not giving him anything here in this game. So in addition to Caleb Stokes,
at the 35-yard line,
the Blue Devils have some really talented offensive players, and Javon Strong and Ricky Francois, who we saw, in addition to James Joseph, who's really a great two-way player for them as well, wide receiver and cornerback. Stokes is going to get flushed out of the pocket again. And another big hit by the Greyhounds. So great defensive effort. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout here from the Blue Devils. So here we go. Back up after the timeout. We got Stokes in the shotgun once again. We've got 5 wide receivers out there. Fires that one over the middle, and that's going to be a great play there. We'll see where the officials spot this one. Looks very, very close to the first down. And they're going to have to measure this one. Great tackle there by Tommy Hill on the Northern Burlington Greyhounds. And it looks like the officials are going to have to go get the chains. So we're going to get an officials timeout. They're going to measure this, see where they spot it. And that's going to be a first down for the Blue Devils. So great play there. And it looks like another low snap by Stokes. He's going to throw that one over the middle, and it's going to get caught again. And the Blue Devils are now moving the chains. They're going to be on the 35-yard line here in this one. You know, we've spoken a lot about the great players on the Greyhounds, but I really can't say enough about the really talented group of players who led the team last year. A lot of seniors and leadership that left, including players like Cam Klauser, Chris Ratty, Will Mesa, Sam Irvin, and others. They were really the role models for these guys here on the field. So Northern looking to get a big stop. They've done a great job so far tonight. And we'll see what the Blue Devils can do here on the 35-yard line, first down, with just a few minutes left to play here in the second quarter. And that looks like it's going to be a quick pass, and that was a great tackle by Tyler Neville coming in. You know, defensive end, looks like a late flag there.
All right, here we go.
That was Bryce Sims, number 23 for Ewing. That was a great play by Neville. It looks like he got in there. We're going to call a horse collar tackle. You know, he was chasing in the running back. Great tackle, but it's going to be a penalty.
Tough break there. Let's see if they can get back into it next play.
Going to get a first down. They're going to move the ball forward, but that was a great play by Tyler Neville. He got right through the line, chased that guy down from the back. Tough break, but still, those are the breaks of the game. But gotta love the defensive effort from him, and as I stated, you know, for an undersized defensive end, he's really been doing an outstanding job so far.
We're gonna have to.
So, Stokes, once again in the shotgun, moving towards the red zone. It's going to get flushed out once again by the Greyhounds defense. Going to fire that one towards about the 5-yard line, and it's going to get broken up. So, 1:16 left in the second quarter, and Blue Devils are driving, and I'm sure they'd like nothing more than to punch a touchdown in here and try to tie this game for the first half. And this is when the Greyhounds are really going to try to lock down the Blue Devils. If they get a big stop here, that could mean a world of difference, a world of momentum. You got a team here driving. Look like a keeper there by Stokes. He's going to get wrapped up quickly.
Great play by the Greyhounds.
You can make a big stop here, preserve the lead, know that you took a team that was driving, got into the red zone, you stopped them going into halftime. That's a great play, and it looks like we're going to get a timeout here with just under a minute to play here in the second quarter. And again, for those just tuning in, I'm Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcast alum Mr. Tyler Kay. We are here live at the farm as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds take on the Ewing Blue Devils. And that looked like a quick pass there by Stokes.
That's some good defense.
Broken up there, and that went towards James Kim on the Blue Devils with just under 46 seconds left here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a large dose of passing. I'm sure Ewing doesn't want to waste any more time than they have to, but also don't want to leave any time for the Greyhounds to get on the board. So want to wind the clock down as much as possible. And you can hear the cheerleaders getting the crowd pumped up. Great turnout here, as always, on the farm. And Greyhounds have a couple more downs here. Try to prevent the Blue Devils from scoring. As both teams look ready to make a play here. And it looks like we're going to get a timeout from Northern. Try to regroup defensively. And we're going to pick back up here after the timeout. We'll see what the Blue Devils have in store. They've got all their wide receivers out. Stokes is going to drop back to pass. He's going to get flushed out of the pocket. And he was past the line of scrimmage on that.
That's some good defense.
A great takedown by the Greyhounds. That's going to be a penalty on Ewing. And probably will be a loss of downs as well. So great defensive effort. And that's going to be another turnovers for the Blue Devils. They've just had a collection of turnovers. That's 3 here in the second quarter, and Northern's going to take over and look just to take a knee to end this first half. So great defensive effort by the Greyhounds once again. And we're going to head in halftime with the 7-0 lead.
As we begin the second half, the Northern Burlington Greyhounds have a 7-0 lead. Up to this point, it has been all Greyhounds. No score yet for Ewing.
Hey, we're on the 32.
Anthony Wynn, number 27.
This offense is going to come out now on the 32-yard line.
Out to the 30-yard
Let's see if this
line,
Greyhounds
the Blue
defense
Devils
can
will take
continue
over
to shut
first and
down
10.
the Ewing offense.
Here we go. 3 and 4 down.
First and 10 here for Ewing. Got 4 wide receivers split out on this play. Let's make that 5.
Run the ball.
Here's the snap and the shotgun.
He has to tuck that away early if he's on.
And that quarterback is taking off.
Stokes on the carry. He
Good
is
tackle there, but a
brought
gain
down
on the
out of
play
bounds
for
by
Ewing.
Tommy Hill, number 32,
Hey, you got a gain of 5.
out to the 36-yard line, second down.
It's now going to be second down and about 5 yards to go. Gonna fake the handoff, and the quarterback's going to try to run.
The backside. The backside.
And nothing there as that quarterback is tackled in the backfield. Great play there by the by the Northern Burlington defense. We got about 3rd and 7 here.
Stokes on the carry,
Greyhounds doing a great job containing Stokes there in the backfield.
brought down by number 60, Patrick Ivanko. Third down.
There's the 3rd down play. Jet sweep here. It's completely contained. Nowhere to run there for the running back. Excellent play there by the Northern defense.
Yeah. Didn't even touch him.
This should bring out the punt team now for Ewing.
Wayne Reed on the carry, brought down by Tyler Neville on that tackle for the Greyhounds. Brings up 4th down.
With this punt, this will bring up Northern's first chance on offense in the second half.
Here we go. Here we go. Now, he has to fall if they do that.
And that ball is going to land. It's going to bounce down right about the 35-yard line. And Northern should take over here with their first offensive possession of the second half.
Blue Devil,
So with the second half underway here, Tyler, what are some of the things that stood out to you in the first half, some of the positive things we could take away so far in this game?
Well, in that first half, the Greyhounds defense really was quite dominant. There was not much space for this Ewing offense. They weren't able to get kind of any movement with the ball at all for the most part.
And they've certainly done a great job. Their defensive line has really made Ewing work for every play on every possession. And we'll see what Calario can do here under center, with the Hounds currently in the lead in this one, 7-0.
Calario waits for the snap. And there's going to be a handoff there. And a nice run there by the Greyhounds. Pick up about 7-8 yards on the play. It's going to bring up second down.
Amir Stevenson across the 40-yard line. Ball's marked at the 43.
And that combination of Calario and Stevenson really has a chance to be phenomenal this year. 2 explosive athletes that have seemed to be playing relatively mistake-free so far in this game. Here's the second down play. It's going to be another handoff. And this one will go for a first down.
Stevenson again on the carry.
I tell you, Stevenson's having an excellent game so far.
Around the 48-yard line, brought down by number 10, Jalen Williams, and number 16, Nelson.
It's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Greyhounds.
That is enough for a Greyhound first down. 1st and 10, Northern Burlington.
Calario under center. He's going to hand it off to the fullback here. And not much room to run. Gain of maybe 1 on the play. He's then pushed back The forward progress should bring him up about a 1-yard gain on the play.
And just to recap, Northern got on the board with a toss pass, Calario to Woods, who found Jacoby Lewis in the end zone for a touchdown to put the Hounds up. Extra point was good. And I'll tell you what, the defense has really been doing a great job. Couple of forced fumbles, interception by Andrew Zimmerman, and they've really been doing an outstanding job on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, up to this point, the Greyhounds defense really has been their strength here. And you hope that this offense, led by Calario and Stevenson, can really kind of gel together well and continue to take care of the ball. Because if you have a defense this good, as long as you don't turn the ball over, you're going to be in every game you play.
And speaking of games, it's been a really exciting kickoff to our season, not just for football, but the girls soccer team got their first win of the season just a couple days ago. And field hockey, we just came off that tough loss to RV, but still plenty of season left to play. Our girls volleyball team got a big win at Pennsauken. Boys soccer fell on a nail-biter to Burlington Township. And girls tennis kicked off their season with a 5-0 win versus Holy Cross Prep. So lots of excitement here. And again, this is the second game of our sports doubleheader here at the farm. And for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum, Mr. Tyler Kay. We are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds lead the Ewing Blue Devils here in the third quarter, 7-0.
What a run there by Stevenson to pick up that first down. Tell you what, this kid's got a lot of talent. I could see him easily averaging 100 yards a game throughout this season if he keeps playing like this. 'Cause this Ewing defense, they're no scrubs. They know how to play. So the fact that we're moving the ball the way we are today is very impressive. In the shotgun. Going to be a handoff there. And another gain on the play. About 3.5 yards there for the Greyhounds.
Stevenson again on the carry.
They are feeding Stevenson right now. He is carrying this offense.
Up to the 37-yard line, gain of a couple.
Second and long here. Calario under center. He's going to hand it off again. Another solid run there for Stevenson.
Stevenson carrying the ball again for the Greyhounds out to the 35-yard line.
It's always nice when you can see a running back that's willing to just pound that ball right up the middle all game long. Really wears out the defense. Calario under center.
I hear what you're saying.
Ooh, good penetration there by the Ewing defense. And that's going to be a third down stop. Nowhere to go for Calario on that play, as that man seemed to get through the line completely unblocked.
Calario brought down immediately, no gain on the play, and it brings up fourth down.
Punt team coming out now for the Greyhounds. After a solid drive, ran a lot of clock there. Bumps into the kicker there, but he's going to get that punt off. And that one's going to go into the end zone for a touchback.
And the Greyhounds have really had some good field position defensively this game so far. We are in the third quarter here with just under 5 minutes left. Gotta love the effort on both these teams. Really, this game means so very much as these two teams are division rivals. So a big win here today could mean a lot. Could mean the difference between making the playoffs at the end of the year and missing the playoffs, and it looks like the rain is really picking up here. Want to take this opportunity to actually thank our camera operators, Miss Emily Walsh, Miss Ashley Walsh, Mr. Jeff Alcade, and Mr. Joey Skelza for weathering the storm, so to speak, and doing a great job on camera. And it looks like Ewing's going to pick up a nice chunk of yards here on that carry.
It's a solid run there by Ewing. And one thing, as you mentioned, this field position battle that you've seen today. The Greyhounds, they haven't scored on all their drives, but one thing they have done is moved the ball. They haven't been pinned down inside their own territory often. So when they have had to punt, they've really set their defense up well to be successful in today's game. Nice run there for Ewing. Bring up 2nd and 1. And that rain is starting to come down. That could play into the Northern Greyhounds' favor in this one, as they already have the lead. Handoff here, and that one's going to be a first down for Ewing.
Francois again on the carry for the Blue Devils. Out to the Ewing 35-yard line, enough for a Ewing first down.
So, as we stated, there will be no rest for the Greyhounds. They have a big game next week versus Willingboro. It's going to come into that game 0-1. Cedar Creek defeated Willingboro. And the Chimeras are going to look to bounce back. Tomorrow they play Delsey. And that will be 3 games in 2 weeks for them. So hopefully Northern can capitalize and get a big win. Northern's going to be looking to bottle up running back Zaire Clements for Willingboro. He's quite the playmaker. So in the lead in this one still, 7-0. Almost an entire quarter left to play. And for those who don't know, Northern TV records 2 varsity sporting events per season. We're eyeing a girls volleyball game later on. And obviously we have our big homecoming match Saturday, October 13th versus Hightstown. And that same week, we hope to be on hand as well on October 22nd as the boys and girls varsity soccer teams will be playing their senior nights versus New Egypt. That's here at the farm. First game starts at 5 p.m. And that'll be the last home game for the Hounds this season before wrapping up their season at Bordentown on October 24th. But lots of action left to play and lots of action left in this season as the Greyhounds continue to keep this lead 7-0. Back in the field here with just over 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Ewing's looking to get on the board, but it is a soggy field. And this rain has really slowed down this Ewing offense. And a credit to the Greyhounds defense. You know, we saw some sacks earlier in the game. Got a sack on that last play before that one. And it looks like we're going to get a penalty against the Greyhounds, and that's going to move the ball up for the Blue Devils as they look to put 6 on the board. Try to get back into this one here. Entire quarter left to play, but you know, you said it, Tyler K. This was going to be a defensive battle, and it has been. And that looks like it's going to be a halfback draw up the middle and just nowhere to go. So outstanding defense by the Greyhounds as this third quarter is winding down, and rain's picking up a little bit, but want to thank all of our friends, family, community members on hand, staff members on hand. I saw a lot of people out there weathering the storm, and we still have a great crowd here on both sides. So can't say enough about our community here as the Greyhounds are looking to get their first win of the season here at the farm. So Ewing in the shotgun, and that's going to be a quick handoff, and it looks like that's going to be very close to a first down. We'll see where the referees spot that one. Just over 2.5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Northern up 7-0. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum, Mr. Tyler K. We are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th, 2018, as the Northern Burlington Greyhounds kick off their season versus the Ewing Blue Devils, and what's really been a defensive battle. And they're going to go right back. It looks like a QB keeper, and they're going to pick up a looks like a couple of inches, but maybe not quite enough for the first down. So it's going to be
Blue Devils carry.
4th down, sorry, for the Blue Devils. And it looks like we're going to get a flag on the play. And we'll see what the referees say here. Could be a big difference maker here as the Greyhounds are looking for possession. Never want to give your opponent a free chance to get a new set of downs. And it looks like Greyhounds are going to... Looks like an illegal substitution there for the Blue Devils, and they're going to send out the punt squad. So the Greyhounds still cruising in this one, 7-0, minute and a half to play in the 3rd quarter. Still anybody's game, almost over an entire quarter left to play, but love the turnout. You can hear the crowd cheering. Even on this rainy night, the marching band's doing a great job, cheerleaders doing a great job, our friends, families, community members on hand. That punt looks like it's going to sail out of bounds around the 37-yard line, and the offense is going to take the field here for maybe 1 or 2 plays before the end of the 3rd quarter. So let's see what Calario has here in store for the Greyhounds. He's doing a great job so far tonight. I would expect a lot of running the ball here, winding down the clock. Soggy field has really slowed down the gameplay, and it's been really a defensive effort here for both teams this entire game. And, you know, minus really one mistake by the Greyhounds, fumbling that opening kickoff, they've got to be happy with the game they've played so far, really limiting this Ewing offense, doing what they can offensively as well. They had a passing touchdown, as we stated. It was quarterback toss to Robert Woods, who found Jacoby Lewis in the end zone. That was in the 2nd quarter. Looks like we're going to get a quick timeout here. Pick back up here now. 53 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Looks like the Greyhounds are going to get maybe 1 play before the end of the quarter here, and the clock is back ticking again. Calario in the shotgun. That looks like it's going to be a quick halfback draw up the middle. Greyhounds are going to pick up about 4 on that one. So that should end the 3rd quarter. Tommy Hill, nice little pickup there for the Hounds. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter. So after 3, the Hounds are in the lead in this one, 7-0. And we'll pick back up with 1 quarter left to play. Northern looking to get a big win on their opening game of the season. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum Mr. Tyler Kay, and we are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th.
Well, one thing that I really noticed with this Greyhounds team is that they're young. They're going to make some mistakes. It's early in the season. They haven't played much together. And as we've talked about throughout the games, very talented. We knew this would be a tough matchup coming in. There's still lots of time for the Hounds to make something happen on offense, really build up some confidence, and hopefully as the season progresses, as you mentioned a road trip at the end of the season, by that point you would hope that this team has kind of gelled together a little bit and figures out what they do well, what they need to work on, what areas they can try to beat other teams. That puts you in a great position. Doesn't matter what happens in the first half as long as it's close going into the second half.
And as we said, still a lot of season left and high expectations for all of our teams. And again, for those just tuning in, I am Mr. James Dowd. I'm joined by broadcasting alum, Mr. Tyler Kay. We are here live at the farm. It is Friday, September 7th.
And boom goes the dynamite.
And that's going to be Anthony Wynn catching that one off a bounce. And he's going to go untouched. He's going to see daylight. It looks like he's going to take this one all the way to the house and get the Blue Devils on the board. Anthony Wynn with a 71-yard punt return. Looked like a special team lapse on that one. And it looks like Ewing is going to go for 2, trying to get the lead here. Trying to pull off a big upset here at the farm. Wow. Anthony Wynn just turned on the burners, got right through the defense. Scored a touchdown. We'll see what the Blue Devils have in store here for the Greyhounds as they drop back to pass. And that's going to be broken up by the Greyhounds. So crowd loves the reaction there. Hounds holding on to this one 7-6. Great defensive play and effort by the Greyhounds. Still plenty of time left in this one. 10 minutes left to play. And we've really seen little of running back Ricky Francois for the Ewing Blue Devils. So I'd look for them to go lean on him here in the fourth quarter. And for the Greyhounds, Mike Hilario's doing a great job leading the Hounds today. Amir Stevenson, as we said, having a quiet game, but still anybody's ball game here. 1 point, almost an entire quarter left to play. Crowd is fired up. We've got a real ground and pound game, as we've been saying.
The Hounds are going to have a chance now on offense. Let's see if they can't get something done here. Let's see if they can get on a little bit of a hot streak.
Greyhounds recover the kickoff.
In this situation, what you want to do is you want to maintain possession and keep the ball away from. The best thing you can do with the Greyhounds is have crisp passing, excellent ball control. If you score, it's always a plus, but you already have the lead. You don't necessarily need to score as long as you can keep the other team from scoring.
But it looks like the Greyhounds are going to be on the attack in the Greyhound zone. Looking to put yet another board. We'll see here at the farm.
This team, the first game of the season, you can tell they came out motivated today. They're leaving nothing on the field. Sometimes you win, you lose. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Best you can do is put your best effort out there. At the end of the day, that's all you have.
And it's clear that the coaching staff got these guys motivated, and they've really come to play here. Tough opponent.
See a certain aggressiveness they're playing with here in the second half.
Again, they've got a really tough matchup coming up next week, and that's going to be one to watch. So we look forward to our friends, family, community members coming out, support on that one.
Right now, you need to start working on the things that you're going to use in that game. You need to get out there and run your offense. Obviously, you never look at any time during a game as practice, but any chance you have on the field is a good time to keep on working on improving as a player and improving as a team.
I want to thank our friends, family, and community members on hand, still toughing it out in the rain. Got to love the support here on hand.
Hill again on the carry to the 30-yard line.
Really just hope that they can get in there and score at least one, maybe two more. As well as they might have a chance here. Pushing the ball on offense. See the defense dropping back. And let's see if the Hounds can't score here.
That would be a big momentum boost, a morale booster for the Hounds.
You really have to be happy that you still have so many fans, family members, friends still here watching this game. Obviously, the weather's not great. And that just goes to show how passionate this Northern Burlington community really is. They really care about their sports. They care about the team, the players. It's really just a great community.
Now, these are two teams haven't played each other in a few years. Actually, these two teams squared off back in 2015 at Ewing. And Ewing won a nail-biter in that one, 29-26. So some of these seniors may have been freshmen on that squad. But the Greyhounds are looking to get a big win here tonight, kick off their season. As I stated before, they won 4 of their last 5 last year, defeating Hamilton West 28-21. That was at homecoming. Defeating Princeton 33-17. Lost at Hopewell Valley, but then bounced back to beat Colts Neck 21-6 and defeated Pemberton in the Commanders Cup last year. And looked like in those games, the Hounds averaged about 24 points per game. So a credit to Ewing for holding the Greyhounds, but still winning 4 of their last 5 could mean a big difference here, trying to get a big win. And the Greyhounds are going to have their work cut out for them next week. As I stated, have a big matchup versus Willingboro. Willingboro is going to come to that game. Well, Willingboro lost their first game against Cedar Creek. That game was back on August 31st. They lost that one 20-14, so a close game. And Willingboro's also got a game tomorrow, Saturday, at Willingboro, and that's versus Delsey. So the Chimeras could be 0-2 or 1-1, but either way, whenever Northern plays Willingboro, it's always a big game, a rivalry with two close schools. And I think it's going to be really up to Northern to contain the Willingboro offense. They've got some outstanding players, Nazir Murray, Zaire Clement. That's really going to be up to the Greyhounds to stop them defensively. And Calario's going to send that one deep, and it looks like that's going to get caught by Jacoby Lewis. Outstanding pass by Calario. Great focus there by Lewis. Going to move the chains. The crowd is fired up, and the Greyhounds are going to move towards the red zone of the Blue Devils, and we'll see where the refs spot this one, but it looks on or around the 20-yard line. So great play there. Great play call by the offense. Looked like Lewis had beat his man and just came down with that great catch. And with this rain, that was an outstanding throw. Cut through the rain. Great catch, great focus there by the Greyhounds, and they're looking to put another score on the board. We'll see what they can do here. I would be surprised if it wasn't a quick handoff to pick up a couple of yards, try to catch them off guard. So Clario in the shotgun. And that looks like a nice pickup, but it's going to be a fumble. And the Blue Devils have it.
Sometimes it doesn't go that way for you. It's a shame. You hate to see it, but you just really hope that they don't lose their composure here with so much time left in the game.
There was a fumble on the play.
You said it, TK. That was a momentum killer.
Unfortunately, they are back on defense here. There's going to be a stoppage in play, and they're going again. Here we go.
Want to thank our friends, family, and community members on hand. Still toughing it out in the rain. Tough game for the Greyhounds, but gotta love the support here on hand. And still plenty of time left to play. This is still a very winnable game for either one of these teams. Obviously, we're rooting for the Hounds, but we're also rooting for a good game, and we've really got one here. As the Blue Devils are going to take over on offense. You know, we haven't seen too much from Caleb Stokes here in the second half, and that's a credit to the Greyhounds' defensive line. Looks like they may pick up a first down there. That was a nice chunk of yardage. That looked like Ricky Francois. And with just over 7 minutes to play, still plenty of football left in this one. You know, as we look ahead at the school calendar, there's a lot of things that are very exciting that are coming up here at Northern, not just athletically, but academically. We have our annual back-to-school night coming up at the high school and the middle school, respectively. Those are in the next 2 weeks. And obviously, we're very excited for Homecoming 2018. And that'll be on Saturday, October 13th, and the Northern Burlington Greyhounds will be taking on Heightstown. So, you know, at a division opponent, hard to prepare for, but I know the coaching staff will do their due diligence, and that should be a great one. And then the following week, we have senior night for our boys and girls soccer teams, respectively. That's going to be under the lights here at the farm on this very field, and that's going to start at 5 p.m. as both teams take on New Egypt. And another outstanding defensive play there by the Greyhounds. They are really not giving the Blue Devils anywhere to run, and the clock is ticking with 6 minutes left to play in this one. And the ball at about midfield. It's really going to be up to the Blue Devils to make something happen offensively, which they really haven't done. The Greyhounds have done an outstanding defensive effort. Looks like that was Tommy Hill there on the tackle. And that was a great play there. And he's back in the shotgun, Stokes, trying to make something happen for the Blue Devils. And you can just hear the crowd cheering, having a tough time getting the snap count. And he's going to drop back to pass, and that's going to get broken up over the middle. So, outstanding defensive effort there by the secondary. And looks like they're running out of chances here, the Blue Devils. But again, we saw what they're capable of. You know, it only takes one big play. both sides we've seen. And Northern's looking to field this punt and hopefully put another score, put this one out of reach. So just to recap, Jacoby Lewis scored a touchdown in the second quarter off of a toss pass, Calario to Robert Woods, who found Lewis in the end zone. And Anthony Wynn took a big 71-yard punt return from the Blue Devils to the house to put them on the board, a failed 2-point conversion. With this game now 7-6, and that's going to take a Blue Devils bounce and go around the 15-yard line. And the Greyhounds are going to take over here with about 6 minutes left in this one, looking to get a big win. So crowd still fired up, still keeping everybody in this game. Love to see the passion of the students here and the staff members. And as we stated, no rest here for the Greyhounds. They're going to take on Willingboro next week. Then they're going to be back home here at the farm. That game's going to be versus Cinnaminson on the 21st. We'd love for our students to come out and support their Hounds. Then they're going to have a little road trip. Hamilton West and Pemberton respectively. And that Pemberton game always means a lot. Nice fancy footwork there. That Pemberton game, as I was stating, always means a lot, as Northern and Pemberton are hosts to our students from the joint base. So, a lot of significance, servicemen and women there. I thank them for their outstanding service work, and I know our kids know a lot of students there and vice versa. As I stated earlier, Heightstown is homecoming 2018. That's a big game. And then Northern's going to wrap up their season at home versus Delran before traveling to Bishop Eustace on the 26th. So we're hoping for a big win here. Another handoff, and he's going to get bottled up there at the line. As we stated, the rain has really been coming down and making this a soggy field. With just over 4 minutes to play, the Greyhounds are holding on to this one 7-6. And you said it, Tyler. It was going to be a close game. It was going to be a ground and pound game, and neither one of these teams has really given each other much room to move on offense. If I were the Greyhounds, I would take as much clock up as possible and give Ewing little to no time getting back on offense. So we'll see what the coaching staff has drawn up. Clario's in the shotgun, and he's going to get flushed out of the pocket and sacked. And that was a big play there by the Blue Devils. Momentum killer. And Greyhounds are going to try to regroup here with. Then they're going to send the punt squad out. And we'll see what they can do here on special teams. They're going to try to bottle up the Blue Devils. As we stated, that was how they got on the board earlier. The Blue Devils have done a great job so far holding Amir Stevenson. He's got 16 carries today for only 51 yards. As I stated, he came into this one averaging over 100 yards a game, had a handful of games last year where he averaged 130 yards. So credit to the Blue Devils. Still plenty of football left to play here. Looks like this one's going to come down to the wire.
Why did they throw a flag? Why are you throwing a flag?
Calario takes a knee. There is a flag on the field.
So big play here for the Greyhounds. And you can see the cheerleaders still keeping the crowd motivated, getting the crowd fired up. Really can't say enough about the home crowd here tonight, weather in the storm, so to speak, and hanging on to this one.
Penalty against the Greyhounds is declined.
About 2.5 minutes left to play, so this could be Ewing's last chance. And if you're the Greyhounds, you really have to buckle down here and not give him any room, because even a field goal could give them the win. So We're going to pick back up here on the game action. But really can't say enough about this Greyhound team. And they are going to flush Stokes out of the pocket and get a big tackle there as the clock continues to run. So great defensive effort there by the Greyhounds. And they have really just been everywhere defensively tonight. So second down for the Blue Devils. And they're just looking to move the chains and pick up a first down and try to stay in this one. And so time is not on their side, but Greyhounds looking to buckle down, don't want to give up any big plays. And we're going to pick back up here. Stokes in the shotgun. Going to get flushed out of the pocket again and send that one flailing. And that was almost picked off by the Greyhounds, and that would have ended the game. So that was a great play there by the defensive back. Almost picking that one off. That would have been it for the Ewing Blue Devils. They're going to get another chance here. But again, great defensive effort. Defensive line, can't say enough here for Northern. They have just been all over Stokes, all over Francois in the backfield. And it is going to be 3rd and 7 here with a minute and 38 left in this one. It's really been a great game. And Ewing's going to have a couple more chances. So if you're Northern, can't give up any big plays. I would be surprised if they didn't try to keep throwing the ball. Stokes is going to go into the shotgun, fake a handoff, toss it over the middle. And that, again, almost picked off by the Greyhounds. Outstanding defensive effort. And we're going to have 4th down. So this is it. This is Ewing's last chance. Greyhounds making a big stop here, hopefully. We'll see what they've got in store. They've almost picked off the last 2 Ewing passes. So we're going to get a quick timeout here as Ewing looks to draw something up here. With a 4th down and 7. Minute and a half here to play. So we'll see what Stokes has in store for the Hounds. Big 4th down. And it looks like Northern's going to call a timeout after seeing what Ewing rolls out there on offense. And this is going to be it, folks. Big 4th down. Crowd fired up. TK, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm hoping that the Greyhounds make another big stop here. And if they do, that'll be it. So crowd is cheering. Stokes back to pass. And that, once again, it's going to get broken up by the Greyhounds. 3rd pass in a row.
Take that with you!
And the Hounds are going to take over on downs. And that's going to be it, folks. There is less than a minute and 30 left. And we're going to get a heavy dose of running the ball. Pending any unusual circumstance, the Greyhounds should hold on to win this one. Maybe kneel the ball a couple times, run the clock out, and hold on here. Get a big win. Of course, still a minute and a half left. Anything could happen. You never want to have thinking the game is in the bag. You could slip, you could fumble the ball. Anything could happen, but the Greyhounds certainly in the driver's seat. And it looks like they're going to squeak this one out here with the 1-point win. So
Why did they throw a flag? Why are you throwing a flag?
Calerio takes a knee. There is a flag on the field.
looks like we're going to get a flag on the play.
False start on the offense.
We'll see what the officials say. Looks like that's going to be a false start against the Greyhounds. Going to back them up a little bit. But nothing too significant. Again, never want to get a penalty this late in the game when you're clinging to a 1-point lead. It's going to be declined by the Blue Devils. And we're going to pick back up here with maybe 1 or 2 more plays. So I would think a couple of quick knees would be the play call. Continue to wind the clock out. And Hounds are going to pick back up here. So the clock is now 1:16. So quick timeout. So the Hounds looking to wrap this one up and take a quick knee and get a big time win here at the farm. So once again, I want to thank our camera operators, Miss Emily Walsh, Miss Ashley Walsh, Mr. Jeff Alcade, Mr. Joey Skelza, for their outstanding contributions. I want to thank all of our friends and family and community members for coming out and supporting our Hounds in this weather. Opening game of the season, big time win for Northern Burlington. Congratulations to the Greyhounds getting a big win here. Home opener. Couldn't ask for a better result. Came out here with a game plan. Congratulations to Coach Dulcie and the entire coaching staff. A 1-point win is a W in the books, and the Hounds are going to look once again to enhance their win total next week versus Willingboro. Would love for our friends and family community members to come out here. Hounds are going to just wind the clock out here, so congratulations to our boys. Special thanks to everyone here for coming out and supporting our Hounds. Want to thank our other video production teacher, Mr. Matt Pona, for his outstanding production work, along with you, Tyler K. For all of us here at Northern TV, I'm Mr. James Dowd, signing off.